Halfway down the stairs is the stair where I sit. There isn't any other stair quite like it. I'm not at the bottom, I'm not at the top. So this is the stair where I always stop. Halfway up the stairs isn't up and isn't down. It isn't in the nursery, it isn't in the town. And all sorts of funny thoughts run round my head. It isn't really anywhere, it's somewhere else instead. It isn't really anywhere, it's somewhere else instead. Now that was a song written by A.A. Milne many, many years ago. It was called Halfway Down. How long ago? Well, it's older than I am. How old am I? Well, that's the sort of question that fathers always avoid answering. I can't think why. I'll tell you if you promise not to tell anybody. Come here and I'll whisper. Oh, you think I look it, I see. Thank you very much. Now, would you like me to read you one of his poems? You would? Well, shall I read you Disobedience? No, there's no special reason for my choosing this one. Of course you're not well, hardly ever. You'd rather I didn't read it anyway. It's a pity, because I think you'd like it. Well, never mind. Here's politeness. If people ask me, I always tell them, quite well, thank you, I'm very glad to say. If people ask me, I always answer, quite well, thank you, how are you today? I always answer, I always tell them, if they ask me politely. But sometimes I wish that they wouldn't. Oh, you like that? Well, here's another. Christopher Robin goes hoppity, 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 hop. Whenever I tell him politely to stop it, he says he can't possibly stop. If he stopped hopping, he couldn't go anywhere. Poor little Christopher couldn't go anywhere. That's why he always goes hoppity, 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 hop. That was called Hoppity. The king asked the queen, and the queen asked the dairymaid, could we have some butter for the royal slice of bread? The queen asked the dairymaid said, certainly, I'll go and tell the cow now before she goes to bed. The dairymaid, she curtsied and went and told the orderly, don't forget the butter for the royal slice of bread. The orderly said sleepily, you'd better tell His Majesty that many people nowadays like marmalade instead. The dairymaid said fancy and went to Her Majesty. She curtsied to the Queen and she turned a little red. Excuse me, Your Majesty, for taking of the liberty, but marmalade is tasty if it's very thickly spread. The Queen said, oh, and went to His Majesty. Talking of the butter for the royal slice of bread, many people think that marmalade is nicer. Would you like to try a little marmalade instead? The king said, bother. And then he said, oh, dearie me. The king sobbed, oh, dearie me, and went back to bed. Nobody, he whimpered, could call me a fussy man. I only want a little bit of butter for my bread. The queen said, there, and went to the dairymaid. The dairymaid said, there, and went to the shed. The cow said, there. I didn't really mean it. Here's milk for his porringer and butter for his bread. The queen took the butter and brought it to His Majesty. The king said, butteray, and bounced out of bed. Nobody, he said, as he kissed her tenderly. Nobody, he said, as he slid down the banisters. Nobody, my darling, could call me a fussy man, but I do like a little bit of butter for my bread.